Buddy, it's Monday morning and we got a football Sunday to talk about. All the pros, we've got college games, we've got baseball. Baseball, absolutely amazing game last night. I would not want to stand in the box against Chapman. That's incredible what he does out there. I'd just have to retire. I'm not going to stand there. Hank, let me introduce, we got Hank Goldberg on here, who has absolutely been red hot. If you're not buying his picks on JimFeist.com, you are missing out, because I think Hank is like 14-4 in his last bunch of games, and his horses he's been hitting exactas and everything. It's been amazing. Hank, good morning. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. I had a big day on college. I think I went 8-4 on college Saturday, and yesterday I think I was 5-2. So I went 4-1 on CBS show, and so that's where I'm 14-4. So it's I think we're having a pretty good season so far in the Westgate contest. I'm in the hunt to make money.
Well, you sure are. You're only like 3 or 4 games out of first place, and there's a long way to go, of course. There's over 2,000 people in that contest. $1 million.
Yeah, but nobody's killing it this year. I think right now, 18 wins is going to be in first place after this week.
And you have, what, 14?
I had 12 going into this week, and if I get the game tonight, I'll be at 16.
That's pretty incredible. Well, Hank, we've been around a while. We've seen this before. There's some quarterbacks in the NFL that just look like maybe this is close to the end of their career, like maybe a year or two left. Big Ben, Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning, all look pretty bad.
Yeah, I call Big Ben Fat Face. He'd make a great Dick Tracy character. He looks awful. He's playing without confidence. I mean, for him to throw 5 picks against Jacksonville, I know Jacksonville's defense is pretty good, but he's been bad pretty much all season long. And now he's talking about how maybe he should have retired, and that's not what they want to hear in Pittsburgh. And, the Pittsburgh team is right now, I think the coach has lost control. I think that they're dysfunctional. And, they're going to play Kansas City this week. And, Kansas City is a huge favorite already over them. And they're going nowhere. And then they have so much talent. A couple of weeks ago, if you asked me who I liked in the AFC, I would have said Pittsburgh based on their talent. And now you look at them, and you look at the AFC and who is the best team right now. Kansas City stands out because not just because they're undefeated right now, but they went into Houston against a team that scored 50 points a week ago, and pretty much won that game easily. And they're just on such a roll right now. Although they've got some injuries, but they're just playing so well, and they're so well coached, and I don't see anybody challenging them right now, except maybe Denver, I guess. But you get the Raiders have a losing record. We thought they were going to be good. The Patriots don't look so great right now. They were supposed to be undefeated this year. They're struggling to get a win. Their quarterback is carrying them. He's getting banged around. I'm hopeful he's going to be able to finish the season. But if he doesn't, at least they got a guy who can step in and play.
Well, at least we think he can.
He can play.
Everything comes to an end. We all know that, and a lot of these quarterbacks have been around a long time, and Brady is the oldest of the group. He's 40, and it is amazing.
But his body is very well maintained, and he's taking great care of himself. Although this year they're not protecting him all that well, and he's getting clobbered. So that's what concerns me about Brady.
Yeah, even.
But Eli is on his last legs, and he doesn't have any receivers right now.
Oh my God, Beckham! That injury to Beckham yesterday was really tough to watch. You could just see he was finished. Even before they put him on the cart, you could see he was finished.
Look for the Giants to bring Cruz back, Jim.
Yeah, well, he could move off the announcing table because I've seen him on the football show, and that would be at least that would help. I mean, their season is over. They're 0-5, and they're not going anywhere. So they're not gonna make the playoffs. Philadelphia's playing real good. Washington has played representative. Dallas has blown 2 double-digit leads the last couple of weeks. They have, the way that league is right now, Philadelphia looks like the favorite for sure. With Washington,
I don't like Philadelphia. I'm going to tell you why. Okay, I watched that game closely yesterday. They got 3 quick scores in that game, and then Wentz played terrible for going into the fourth quarter. He was so off his game. He was throwing the ball all over the place, and Blount was carrying him up until late in the game. But I'm going to tell you something. I think that Philadelphia is going to get beat on Thursday night. I think right now, the way Cam is playing for Carolina, I think that Philadelphia's performance was a little misleading. They got off to an early lead, and then Wentz just blew up. He's not consistent, Tim. And I think their defense has got some holes, and I don't think they're all that great. And I don't like them that much. And I watched them, and I said, I will not pick Philadelphia again in the next couple of weeks.
Well, they definitely are going to run into a buzzsaw in Carolina because they have now turned it around, and they're playing.
They got Carolina and they got Washington the next 2 weeks, and Washington will be looking to get even with them.
That's very true. Cleveland, of course, is Cleveland. I don't know how anybody can have an organization as bad as this group is, but Hank, one of the things people like to talk about are coaches that are on the hot seat, and I know the McAdoo, Tomlin, Jackson.
It's not McAdoo, it's McAdoo.
McAdoo. I will agree with that. How about Garrett, Dallas? I mean, is there ever any pressure on this guy? He doesn't overperform ever. I mean, just with all the talent and everything, is there any pressure on him that he might be replaced?
Yes, because if Jerry could get rid of Jimmy Johnson, he can get rid of anybody.
That's true.
And the problem with Garrett is he can't get a team ready when the other team has extra time to prepare. And you hear it was again with Green Bay with extra time, goes out and beats them. And his team is underperforming. His offensive line was supposed to be so good, and they haven't been that great. He's got the quarterback threw a terrible interception in a key time in the game. And I'll tell you something. They made a big mistake. They scored too fast at the end of that game. You don't give the ball to Rodgers with over a minute to go. When they move the ball downfield, they should not. The people who were watching the game, who had Dallas, were saying, "Don't score, fall down." When they got inside the red zone, they didn't have to score so fast. They were going to score whenever they wanted to against Green Bay's defense. And instead, I was thinking if Green Bay was smart, they'd let them score and get the ball back, and Rodgers would take him down the field.
I thought the same. I thought the same thing. They could have done that.
But you know something? I had Green Bay in the game, so I was happy.
Yeah, me too. I I definitely had Green Bay, and I mean my biggest loser for the day was the Texans, and losing those two defensive players early certainly didn't help.
Well, I had Kansas City, and I got nervous about the game and got off it, but I had the over, so I didn't get hurt. But I had picked Kansas City and Vegas Insider and your company, so I was okay publicly. And then I started looking at that game, and I got nervous about the Kansas City injuries. And so when the game went to 2.5, I took it back and tried to catch a middle. But I had the over, so I was okay.
I joined you with I had the over as well, and some of the totals yesterday were pretty good. You know, we got some games coming up this weekend. The Jets. I cannot believe I'm actually saying this. The Jets have actually won 3 in a row when everybody thought they were going to go in 16.
Yeah, the big joke in New York right now is that the wrong New York team is going to tank.
Well, yeah, that's true. That is true. The one that was predicted and to be is not to be. I mean, beating Cleveland, of course. Cleveland beats themselves. I don't know how that franchise can be so bad. I just don't understand what the hell's going on there. But we saw a game yesterday.
I'm happy for Bowles because he's a real good guy, and he's been hurt by a front office there that's been inept until now. But the GM that they have now has made some good moves, and the Jets have some good young talent on that team, and you know they get their quarterback situation solved. They could be a team that you can look forward to developing. I'll tell you the team that's a mess is the Dolphins. And Gase, who's supposed to be an offensive genius, they've scored 2 offensive touchdowns in 3 games. And you know, Cutler is killing them. And in the stands, they're yelling, "We want more!" Talking about the backup quarterback.
Well, before they paid Cutler the $10 million, I thought Moore was better than he would be anyway. And I mean, Cutler had under 100 yards yesterday. I mean, it was absolutely.
Yeah, and you know something, their defense was playing against a team that had a backup quarterback in there, but they got Atlanta coming into this next week. They're going to get crushed. They can't score. Their offensive line can't block anybody, and this guy was supposed to be an offensive genius. You know something? Now his offensive line coach has resigned over a real stupid maneuver that he committed. The team's in a total disarray, and you know something? The buck stops with him, and he's not such a genius. He lived on a reputation he made coaching Peyton Manning. You and I could have coached Peyton Manning. And, and I'm told he made his reputation in Chicago stealing signs.
Well, if you look at the NFL, there's some exciting games, and there were some exciting games yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Albeit, I will say that the play is down, the quality of play is down in most cases. But let's talk about somebody that is absolutely maybe the best ever. I mean, I'm not going to say that, but one of the best ever. Aaron Rodgers. This guy is absolutely amazing. He's never really had the best team around him. He's had good teams with good talent, but not the best team. Yeah, he only has the 1 Super Bowl ring, but what he does week in and week out is unbelievable. This guy's instincts and physical talents and he's just absolutely a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have great defense around him, and that's Green Bay's problem. But that performance last night, it was inevitable they were going to come back and win that game. And now they have a running back. So
Yeah,
that's going to make them very tough.
They did pick up a running back. Yeah.
What's that?
Jones ran the ball pretty well.
Oh, he was terrific. And
Yeah.
Now they finally have a running back after a long time without one. And so, the complementary offense, besides the passing game, is really going to set them up. Their problem is, defensively, they're kind of weak. But, I think they're in great shape. And, Detroit proved again that they can't beat a team with a winning record. That game wasn't as close as the final score indicated because, what happened was that, Carolina got a 17-point lead, and then in the fourth quarter they tried to sit on it, and Detroit got a couple of cheap touchdowns, and now the quarterback looks like, I think he's hurt. He may be out this week.
Well, the injuries in the league are really hard to take because we lose some great players yesterday. Merciless and Watt go down for Houston. You got all the four wide receivers for the Giants, including Beckham. This is this injury situation in the NFL is really tough to take. It's hard to find really good and great quality football players, and each and every week we lose so many of them. Mariota's out last week, Carr's out this week. Now you're saying Stafford. I mean, it's look at the line on some of these games. Like coming up this week, the Giants are going to Denver for a Sunday night game. Denver opens 9. It's already up to 12.5 in some spots. Not.
The Giants don't have a wide receiver.
No,
and they can't run the ball. I mean, that's going to be a massacre.
And the line would tell you that. I mean, Arizona's a mess, and they open Pick'em and Tampa Bay's now 2 on the road. That's a road game for Tampa. Tampa's a road favorite there.
No, I wouldn't get carried away with Tampa Bay.
No.
Because one thing, Arizona, at least they can play defense. Carson Palmer, though, there's another aging quarterback.
Oh,
who
yeah.
Looks like he's on his last legs.
I forgot to mention him. He's definitely on his last legs. Atlanta opened 9. That's up to 11.5. New England is. This is interesting. New England opened 10.5 and went down to 9.5. With some money on the Jets, a little bit of money on the Jets, and the Thursday night game, Carolina opened 3. It's still 3, but the juice is also leaning right now to Carolina, so we might start to see some 3.5 show up there. And of course, the Monday night game, which is tonight, Minnesota. What's the status of the health condition of Bradford there?
He's supposed to be a go.
That's probably why they settled on 3.5. Minnesota's 3.5. They're going to Chicago. They're playing against the rookie quarterback Trubisky. And the one thing about rookies that bother me is they're not used to the defenses of the NFL in real-time football. This isn't preseason, and that can sometimes be different. Well, it is different, and if they go from a man-to-man, which they might have seen a lot of in college, and they start playing zones, the rookie quarterbacks don't know how to read those zone coverages. And
well,
blitzes.
I think where the Bears have an advantage is they can run the ball, and Minnesota hasn't been that great against the run this year. Number one, number two, Minnesota never plays well at Chicago, and the last 10 years they've lost 9 times at Chicago. And those games haven't been close. And I think Minnesota, I'm not worried about Bradford so much because, they, in 2 home games, as a home dog, the Bears covered against Atlanta and Pittsburgh. And of course, we know Pittsburgh isn't such a big deal now, but covering against Atlanta, they held up against pretty good offense. So
And Dalvin Cook is out. Is he? He's out for the season, is
Yeah.
he not? Yeah, that's a big
yes,
loss.
he is.
That's a huge
That's
loss.
huge.
Yeah, this
And
is
Chicago's got two really good running backs, and Chicago's going to try to play ball control. This looks like a low-scoring game to me, and I think Chicago's got a good chance.
Let me see what the. I'm going to take a quick look at the total here.
39.
Actually, we got some. Actually, I'm looking at Minnesota, Chicago, 40.5 right now.
Well, it went up because of Bradford.
That's correct. But if the style of ball is what you're saying it's going to be, and I agree with you, I'd like to get, if I played it under, I would sure like to get 41, because there are key numbers out there, and that would be, 42, of course, would be much better, but...
Trubisky had a quarterback rating in preseason of 106. He could be pretty good, and of course, I think the Bears will respond to him too. And he's got pretty good mobility, so that'll be interesting.
It's definitely not a drop off from Glennon. Glennon looked absolutely terrible.
No, Glennon was awful.
Hank, we're going to talk. We're going to do this again on Wednesday. And you have a great day. Your horses have been hot. Your sports have been absolutely incredible. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to everybody on Wednesday again. Thanks, Hank.
This will be a big day in Chicago because I like the Cubs too. Might do a parlay.
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, we didn't talk about baseball. Maybe we should do that. I mean, I would not stand in the box against Chapman. I am not going to stand there while this guy throws 103 miles an hour.
I'll tell you something. Joe Girardi is lucky that George Steinbrenner is not around anymore. After he didn't call for a replay the other night, which was incredible to me, and then he uses an excuse that, well, I didn't want to upset my pitcher's rhythm. Please. His catcher was calling for a replay. The guy who was hit by a pitch, allegedly, never showed any pain, and Girardi just stood there like a goofball. It was, and it cost him the game because the next guy up hit the grand slam, and he could have been out of the inning.
Well, like you said, Steinbrenner isn't there, and he still is. He's going to get a lot of credit for taking this young team to the playoffs, and who knows how far they're going to go. So he'll probably still be around. I agree with.
I don't know. He thinks he knows he's in trouble. Because the public outcry about him losing that game, they could be ahead in the series right now.
That would be amazing, since most people think Cleveland's the best team in baseball at the moment. But there are some good ones. There are some real good ones.
Yeah.
Houston, the Dodgers look tough. The Cubs. I agree with you about the Cubs. I think the Cubs will win that series over Washington.
Washington doesn't have any HEART. Is that how you spell it?
I think so.
Okay.
Take care, Hank. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, Jim.
Thanks.
You too.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you Wednesday.